Mike, what made you join the club?
Well, I met Ronnie and Nunie in 2011. I just started hanging out with them, going to different clubs, car shows with them. I never really considered about joining a club. I never really thought about it. I had bad visions about car clubs.
You were a lone wolf out there, huh?
Right. And when I got to know them, they were completely different. They were really family orientated. Everywhere they went, they had family with them, and they sat down, we drank, had good times, barbecues and picnics and stuff like that. But there was something about them that drew my attention.
What's going on, everybody? This is Joe Ray. This is the Wire Down Show. Today's episode will feature the Tribe Car Club. Before we get into their story, they are different, and that's what makes us all different from everybody else as lowriders. The meaning of tribe, it's a community of numerous families or a clan that join together to express and reflect on traditions and culture. And that's what this is all about. Go ahead and introduce yourselves to the fan base.
I'm Nunie Quesada. I'm the senior member of the club.
I'm Mike Holguin. I'm one of the senior members of the club also.
Nunie and Mike, here we go. The car club itself started back in 2010.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
I see you guys got your shirts on today. The colors are black and gold.
Yep.
Is that how you guys originally started, with black and gold colors?
Yes,
Correct.
we did. Yeah.
Are you just members, officers? Tell everybody who you are.
We are the charter members. We don't have a president. We have three charter members. The founders of the club, three of them left the club. The last one passed away back in 2022, Ron Medina. And I carried on the club, but I couldn't do it myself. So I asked my two senior guys to give me a hand. And so we kept the club going and followed the same values the day that we started.
So you run the car club like a committee.
Correct.
Does everybody typically agree all the time, or you have to put it to a vote? How do you decide?
Well, that's why we have three of the charter members controlling the club. Basically, the third member kind of breaks the tie.
That's how it goes, huh?
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes, and everybody agrees with it.
How many members are in the club?
Well, we have 18 now. We were a little bit deeper, but we try to keep it small. We have 18 members that are good, strong, dedicated, active members.
You have all types of cars, lowriders, low rods, classics, all of them slammed on the floor, which gives all of them a great look. I've witnessed some of your cars, especially the Rivieras, slammed on the floor at the Roadster show out in Pomona, not too far from here. And you guys like the bigger wheels sometimes. And that's what low riding is all about. The lower you can get the car to tuck a wheel or a tire, that's what makes everything in the world. Once a wheel well touches or passes a white wall, that is everything right there. They are slammed, no matter how you look at the math about it. And putting on a bigger wheel, the wheels we run today, 13s and 14s, and I always go, it just depends on the wheel well, what type of wheel would fit and the length of the car. Sometimes you got some giant wheel wells and you don't want to see a tire tread up there on top with some cars, but the white wall separates the black tire. But in all reality, we want to show rims, and I was a fan. I mean, I had a couple beers the whole weekend, and I looked at something that me and a good friend Brunick used to talk about in our club to change things up in low riding. And you think out of the box and become more innovative because the industry's constantly changing. Right. And I like the big wheel look. It was all wired down. There's 63 Buick Rivieras,
right,
just slammed on the floor, like I said. And it was just all wire wheel, and they looked bad. And all of us thought so too.
Yeah.
It looked really cool. The Rivieras we're talking about, I know we're getting off subject here, but they were 20-inch. What wires were they?
Zeniths.
20-inch unit.
And he ran the Vogue wheels, so it give it a little better look to me. It was a
The
white wall
with the gold.
Yep, scrambled eggs is what they call them, the nickname.
Yeah, it's a good look actually. You guys have Suburbans, wagons, all kinds of different cars, right, Mike?
Right. I have a pickup, a 55 Chevy pickup, and I've had that for quite a while, and it sat in the backyard for many years, and it's gotten to look pretty good, and uh, I have it on bags. And I wish it was lower, but without cutting up the frame or anything, I got it as low as I possibly can get it, and it does look pretty good.
But you guys really generally, besides being touching the floor, you guys like all classic cars.
Correct.
All of them.
Yes.
Right.
And it's cool to be different. So we spoke earlier when we got here, Nunie, about lowriders going way back in the past and remembering like the 75 Cougars, the 74 LTD, cars like that, the Grand Prix, the 69 Grand Prix. You don't see those cars, the 68 Caprice, right?
Right.
Or even the Fastback. You don't see those type of cars as much as we used to back in the days. They were everything to us. And today's styles of cars are just basic. It's a 59, it might be a 57, but for sure it's a 64. And I think that we were talking about the fact that, you know, it's all engraved and everything, but at the end of the day, it's like, what do you drive? I drive a $150,000 classic.
Right.
And it's not about that. It's about style and design.
Yep. I grew up in a 1963 Impala wagon that my mom had. And I couldn't stand that car. It was an ugly car to me back in the days when we were kids. And later on, I decided that, you know what? I said, I had dreams about that car. I decided to buy one. And it took me 7 years to finish it. The car came out beautiful, won second place at the Grand National Roadster Show. I think it was 2022. And I went over and beyond. To me, I did. You know, I wanted to drive the car. So I put a 350 ZZ4 in there, 700R. I ran Supremes. I'm a Supreme guy. I love that old 70s and 60s look. And I flaked the roof. Had the third row seat, so it had all the bells and whistles. A beautiful car. The day that I bought that car, I told my mom that I bought that car, and she was in awe. You know, she says, like, you know, you hated that car. Why would you even go buy something like that? I said, Mom, I've had these dreams about this car, and I got a vision for it. And I'm gonna see it through. You know, it took me 7 years to finish it. Not my fault, painter's fault, of course, but you know, we got the car done, and the car came out beautiful. And it was a look that my good buddy Ron Medina, who passed away, he led the club in our later years after we had a split. But he had a vision, you know, the way he built his '59 Impala. He had some one-off wheels on that thing. They were a replica of a '59 Impala hubcap, and he did it in a 12-piece billet wheel. And it was we had a guy in the club named Eric Toshiba from ADF, who, same thing, had a great vision. The guy was talented. He built those wheels for Ron. And the car really took off after we did that. And that's when low rods were coming in, you know. And so Ron did that. So Ron himself, he went over and beyond. You know, it's not all about just slapping some wheels on your car and saying, hey, it's a low rod. There's more to it. You know, you got to put the bigger brakes, you know, 700R, you got to put the right motor, rear end, and, you know, do some modifications. So he did it all right, and the car really grabbed a lot of attention, you know, but it turned out really well.
When the club started, you were there?
I was there since day one. 4 charter members started it, and I was the first member to join the club. And now, you know, we run the club.
Yeah.
Mike, what made you join the club?
Well, I met Ronnie and Nunie in 2011, and I just started hanging out with them, going to different clubs, car shows with them, and I never really considered about joining a club. I never really thought about it. I had bad visions about car clubs, and
You were a lone wolf out there, huh?
right. And when I got to know them, they were completely different. They were really family orientated. Uh, Everywhere they went, they had family with them, and yeah, they sat down, we drank, had good times, and uh, barbecues and picnics and stuff like that. But there was something about them that drew my attention. And Steve Quesada, that's Nunie's cousin, the Riviera, he lives in Oxnard. He invited me into the club, and it took me a while. It took me a couple months to really consider it.
There's a lot of so-called lone wolves that are out there today, and if you go to a picnic, a park, and there's a show, and you see certain car clubs, even from around the neighborhood, you can check out their character, if they're kind of loud,
Mm-hmm.
if their cars fit your fancy, your style, you can see that, and if you get a chance to meet them or just talk to them about their cars, you get a good idea of who they are, more or less.
Correct.
But sometimes you get into a club you wish you never had gotten into. But yeah, there's always going to be that area, that gated community, if you want, that's not
Right.
going to. I want to be on my own. I want to do my own thing, my own style. I accept who I am. I don't have to accept their ways and styles. So it would take a lot for anybody, and it did for you, to just join a car club, because you weren't that type, right?
Right.
It's just the camaraderie, the family
Exactly.
orientation.
It felt more of a family than a group of guys just want to get together and cause trouble. They treated everybody with respect, and they recognized each other. They kept in contact with one another. They greeted everybody. They checked on everybody. And someone needed help, they were there. It was just a good feeling.
You guys have a variety. So if I'm on the outside looking in and I come up to a picnic, seeing the clubs out there representing Tribe, it's a pretty great, good name, cool name. I could see all your members and what they're about. Yeah, the family, the kids are all there. So how do I get in there? And then I have to recognize immediately that you have trucks, you have Suburbans, you have different types of wheels, all the vehicles. You have a variety, like I'm saying. Does that help? Does that go a long ways? Because there's a lot of guys out there. Don't get me wrong, low rods are badass cars. There's a lot of them. I'll go to a roadster show and see a few low rods, and if I imagine taking off the wheels and just saying, man, if it had a set of 14s on there, wow. But look at all the different changes in the customizing on that car, man. It's like anything that Chip Boost builds.
Right.
You want to see him change the wheels, but some of the rides that you guys have, the wheels are cool. You just mentioned Supremes.
Mm-hmm.
You can never go out of that. And they're old school. I mean, that's our history, right?
Right.
Kragers and all that. But when you go back, you got to think back automatically. Wires or Supremes, there's no argument. They both look great,
Right.
actually. They do. For you to get in the club, so you would meet up with all the members, get to know their families, and that's what kept you in, and that's what's how the car club survives. Because everybody we have here, we talk about family, the wives and the kids, the bikes, the pedal cars, and traditions and things like that. Everybody talks about it because it's just a new era today. But you guys are way different for that. Variety of different styles of cars, slammed, different wheels, different tires. But for a guy like you to be on the outside looking in and fit yourself in there, and that's your livelihood now.
It
Right.
is. It is.
Yeah, we just and we're not out recruiting. We're not really out there recruiting, trying to get members to come in. We try to keep it, it's a small club. We got 18 active members, and we if we like you and we talk to you, we meet you, and we ask you, hey, why don't you hang out a little bit with us, and we don't recruit all the time. But if we like you, you got a decent looking car and stuff like that, and you're good people, and it has to be both of you, the husband and the wife both, man, and they have to understand that there's going to be kids around when we do our barbecues, and they have to accept that. And we give them the option, man, to hang out, with us and see if you like us. Not only if we like you, but if you like us, and So we kept it that way, and it's been a tradition, and we've always had that. That was something that we really stressed back in starting the club. It's all about the people too, not just your car, but it's all about the person. So, and it's worked out well.
You have certain standards in the club though for a car to fit.
Well, we have patinaed cars, so, but they have to be patina. They got to be blocked. And it's got to be, a lot of our patina cars, we got the trucks, a couple of 70, 71 and a 50, 56, Dave. But they,
52.
they got LS motors. They're modified, they're bagged, they're slammed, but they're patinaed. And, we accept that look in the club.
Bombs, anything like that? I'm going to go back into the 40s and 30s.
Yeah, we have a 47 Revens.
Revens.
Yeah, and it's stock. It's not bagged. It's not anything. No hydros or anything. And it's just a stock. And we welcome that. A stock looking bomb. It's a very nice, clean. That's very showable. And they're good people. They're really good people.
American classic cars. And that's what it's all about, the love for them.
I
know that there's a lot of guys out there that are serious diehard lowriders, but at the end of the day, in their driveway, and with lowriders in their garage, they have something that's classic too. They got a Suburban, they got a truck. Trucks are so popular out there. The wives, the kids, everybody gets along at all your gigs. You said drinking. What were you talking about? Like red cups? That kind of drinking?
Cups.
Red cups are, yeah. But that's our pastime, enjoying, talking about cars, family, our jobs. We got away, we got the weekend, we're barbecuing, and, we're not looking at just 62, 64, 71 Rivieras. Hey, man, there's a classic truck over here, or there's because I am a fan of the older classic cars that first came out, like I mentioned before, like the Cougar and cars like that.
Right.
The 75 Cougars were badass back then. And you guys think outside the box, and that's a good thing. No chapters?
No chapters.
No chapters.
Who came up with the name Tribe? I mean, or how did that come about?
Well, it started with 4 guys that used to ride Harleys together, and they were the first charter members, but they also were into the classic cars. So they had a little, get together one time. They were talking about it. And the tribe just means a group. So it's just a group of friends. Let's get the tribe together and go for a ride. Right. So that's how that name came up. A lot of people think that, I can wear my colors. I can go into the market and they'll ask me, tribe, what tribe you from? You Native American? And, so it gets kind of pushed around a little bit and stuff. I have a Native American in me, but that's not the reason why we named it. It's just mainly a group of people, the tribe. Let's get the tribe together.
Community of numerous families.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Existing as one.
Right. Yeah.
You guys do a lot of local car shows. You support a lot of local events from La Puente, Covina. Right. You go into the town of Whittier. You guys attend a lot of shows, actually.
Yep, we do.
We try to do as many as we can. Past couple of years, I myself have not been able to attend as much as I have done in previous years due to back injury. But we try to support as much as we possibly can and different families. If we see a family in need, we try to help out and get together and either donate or
we've had our club dances and all, and we've donated to St. Jude Cancer. The money proceeds we get, it'll get donated and stuff. So we try to help charity. Just help us as much as we can.
You guys, SoCal tribe, but you guys are from just about everywhere, right? You have members from different cities, Oxnard.
The furthest will be Oxnard. Yep. Ukaipa, is another one. Mainly Peak Rivera, Whittier, San Gabriel is where we're at. Ontario, where me and Mike live.
Yeah. Well, we have one that actually lives in the wintertime. He's out here in Long Beach. And summertime he spends in Colorado.
Yeah.
But he makes a trek because he believes in what you guys do.
Yes,
great, and he's a great guy.
Exactly.
For the love of cars.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen you guys. I've walked past you guys numerous times, checked out your club and the unity that's there. You guys kicking back on the wall, on the outside of a show. And you guys just checked in with you, got introduced to you guys, and right off the bat, would you like something to eat? We have sandwiches, we have this, and
Right.
I just barely met you guys, 10 seconds, and you're offering food and everything. But that's how you guys do it with everybody.
That's how we do it.
Hospitality.
Yeah, we
That's what the
do
club's
that
all about.
as much as we possibly can. We, a few times we've had car shows down in Long Beach. We call it a barbecue, and where we close off. This is at one of our club members, Mark.
Did you trademark that name?
Yes, we did. Mhm.
And
I like that idea.
yeah, we
Barbecue, huh?
close off the whole block, and we roast a pig or two,
Uh-huh.
and whoever shows up,
Yeah, we got a band. We have it all.
yeah, we have a band, and whoever shows up eats.
We also
free.
have a lot of not members, but just associates. For instance, one of your club members, Andy Sapien. You know, that's how we got to meet you. But Andy, good people, great people. Him and Annette, his wife, but they support us. Andy, we camp with Andy. We go camping with Andy, and we go camping with Dominic. You're a good friend.
Dominic was
also.
just
yeah,
Bachelor's LTD.
and him and Nancy, we have a great time with them. They support us. We've asked them, we approached them, asked them to join the club, except for Andy. We know Andy's a dedicated lifestyle member, but look, they chose not to. They support us. They like to hang out with us, just like Mike says. They really don't want to be in the club, and and that's fine. But we invite them to everything that we have. We just had our 15-year anniversary at my place, and they're on the list. We invite them. They come, they support us. And they're just great people, man. I mean, they're really dear to us. They're our dear friends, but there's some people just don't want to be in a club, and that's okay with us. But we're not going to exclude you. We'll invite you just like you were in the club, to all our events and our barbecues and whatsoever,
And you guys aren't afraid to load up the trailers for camping,
Hell no,
motorhomes, and go camping a lot.
We load them up, man.
Invite everybody out there. That's what it's all about, though,
It is.
because that builds more camaraderie in any car club when you have events like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've done camping trips before with a club, and maybe there was only about 20 of us that went with their families for a whole weekend, and we swore we go back again the next weekend, and we just didn't. But I mean, it pulls everybody together, because sometimes you just do have to get away from the cars and the paint job, and it's monotonous sometimes, right?
Yeah.
You guys are in all kinds of different neighborhoods, man. Wherever there's a car show for a good cause, there is nothing like that. Because today, like we were talking about how low riding is more commercialized, the engraving, the $150,000 car. It's not, well, do you know what kind of car you have? And they'll think twice about it, but they know how much they spend. And it isn't about that. It's about the style you're making, model of some of these cars, man. That's more important. Car shows are something similar to that. The commercialized big car shows where you have those 20 or so cars right down the middle looking for that huge trophy, money, or whatever it may be.
Right.
There's a total difference of night and day compared to grassroots car shows.
Right.
Where you can just go down the street 10 miles, 15 miles and hook up your family with other families and become one at a show. Because of why? The smell of the barbecue, the kids out there playing, the grass, the trees, the shade, the sun, and the music. That's what it's really all about. That pulls you a lot closer than competing at some big, huge car show.
That's right.
Correct, yeah.
Absolutely right.
And that's the glue that keeps you guys together. It never gets old, huh?
We're not there for the trophy, man. We're just car guys. We like to learn from each other, learn from others, man. Other guys that have a beautiful car out there, we don't hesitate to go over there and compliment you on your car. We let you know, you got a beautiful car. What did you do here? How did you do this? And we just want to learn off somebody else, and share whatever we can with them, and they share with us, It's not all about that win. It's not all about the trophy. It's about having a good time.
Nunie, where did you come from? Where were you raised at?
I was born and raised in Pico Rivera, man, in Old Pico.
Pico Viejo?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
Pico
sir.
Viejo. And a lot of Together Car Club, man. Together Car Club is where I had this love for cars through those guys. Those guys, all the OG members, man. A lot of them were from Pico.
Mm-hmm.
And they still meet up at the lot, Pico Park, right there. And I'm right there by that park.
Right.
So that's where they have their meetup. But a good friend of mine, my compadre, he was from that club. And I was probably 3 years younger. I was probably 15 years old, man. And he took me and take me to the lot and hang out with the guys, man, take me cruising. And And I had love for those guys. I still do. You know, they became my really good friends and best friends. You know, and but I always said, man, I said I can't wait till I turn 18. I'm gonna give me a job and I'm gonna have a car just like that. I love that old vibe, like what you have, Joe. You know, your that stance. You know, that's a lowrider to me. I'm not into these cars that lock up. You know, all the way to the top. I love the low stance, and that's a lowrider to me. And all the OG members, that's what they had, and that's the love that I had for those cars. Low riding changed a little bit. Car styles have changed, since then, but I like the old vibe. The old '70s and '80s look. I mean,
That's what keeps me going. Checking out the old vibe always puts me in check and reminds me of where I came from.
I can watch Boulevard Nights over and over and over, man, and stay.
I like watching it in Spanish, along with Heartbreaker in Spanish is a classic. Mike, where are you from?
I grew up in El Sereno, Highland Park area.
Oh, great.
And I was involved. I grew up drag racing. My dad was an old-time drag racer. And he was
in that area?
In that area.
Well, Highland Park is haunted to me. And I always remember my grandparents, La Llorona's up there in Elysian Park, right? I'd be drag racing all the time if I saw something different out there. But El Sereno, my Nina, my grandparents, they were all from there, man. That's another community, not too far away from East LA. What, a hop, skip, and jump over the railroad tracks.
Exactly,
but that's a good area to grow up in, especially Highland Park.
That's a good place to learn how to ride.
Victorian homes, yeah. All the gangs, they're still there, though.
Yeah, they're still
Those
there.
are old school gangs.
One of the hardest streets around, Locke Avenue. It's one of the worst streets in El Sereno to live in. But I grew up in a drag racing. My dad was heavily involved in, building dragsters and hot rods and stuff like this. And that's where I got all my knowledge from, and my taste for working on cars and stuff like this. And later on, I was really fortunate to join or be part of a semi-professional drag racing team, and we were very successful. It was running an A-gas car and Good Guys. Mm-hmm. And we actually went all the way. We won the Nationals in 2006 with an A-gas car. So it was. So,
but your dad, is he still around?
No, he passed away.
But did he get a chance to see that you were an anti-speedster, an anti-speed demon, so to speak, by slamming your car, airbagging it, stopping it? It's not going anywhere but the floor.
He's seen the progress I made. When I started building my truck, it was way back in late 90s. I bought this truck from a Pomona swamp meet, and it sat in the backyard for years, and I decided to start working on it. And at that time, he was pretty much already in a wheelchair, and he would come out and sit in the garage and watch me work on it and give me his advice and show me what, pretty much kind of guide me in different stages. And he was pretty proud of what I did.
You just mentioned Good Guys. That type of, you guys go to the Good Guys show?
Oh, yeah.
Of course, right?
Yeah.
Santa Maria. Yeah. Hot August nights, you guys attending that night?
Out in Del Mar.
And attending those shows, right?
Right.
Different walks of life. Just almost similar to something like, and it is to me, the Pomona Swap Meet at the Fairplex is more of a car show, mostly because nobody's really going to sell anything unless you pay this price, because they're out there sitting down having a good time with all kinds of people walking around buying stuff. The music's going. There's barbecues everywhere. That whole atmosphere, just like Good Guys, can never go away. That's what it's really all about. Besides everything, cruising the park, going to car shows, cruising Whittier Boulevard. The atmosphere of grabbing a chair next to your car, sitting down, having a beer, barbecue in the background is everything. You guys do a lot of those shows.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
What is because I know some of the shows like Hot August Nights, there's Santa Maria, there's a lot of going up the coast in California. there's a lot of badass shows with the baddest cars that there can be, right? Classics, Riddler Award type style cars, hot rods, everything. And I've never really had a chance. I had a chance to attend those type of shows, but I understand that there are restrictions sometimes, and they don't want like anything from 1965 and over. It has to be a 65
Right.
and under to be accepted into their show to be there.
Yeah.
Why is that?
You know, we don't know, but sometimes they do exclude the lowriders, and I think maybe it's because some guys will go on there and start hopping or doing whatever they do, and I think that's what they try to stop that. But as far as the low rods and classics, I've never heard of it really being a limit, as long as it was a certain year. Some people have up to 69, some people have up to 75. 1975 is a cutoff. But other than that, man, I really don't know why they do something like that.
And why I'm curious is because you guys are right like down the middle with the bigger wheels, the low rod style, low riders too, and all that. And sometimes low riders, I don't know if they're stereotyped so much anymore, but I don't know if they're afraid of the crowd that it brings, or they're afraid of that crowd of club that's showing their cars,
Right.
or they don't want to ruin a good thing. And I can go back to Canning's. When they did car shows, they limited so many lowriders in their shows, and the next thing you know, there were more and more and more, and they took over that show, and it just lost its identity. It became a lowrider show before you knew it. And that's almost like the Roadster show over here in Pomona.
Yeah.
For us, and I know we've met together, your club just an aisle away from us,
Right.
next door to us, right? And our lineup, and it was just hard for us to get in. And it's a little bit easier for you guys to fit in by who you guys are and how you represent yourselves. But to get into shows like that, because that's where you get most of your ideas.
Absolutely.
And I tell everybody that if they would go to the Roadster show, of course we don't attend anymore because of
Politics.
other things too. There's barriers that you have to bridge that gap. And I mean, when we were allowed to finally go to that show, and it's been around for 75 years and moved down here from Oakland, the Roadster show, you would go in there with nicer, acceptable, neutral cars, not to stand out too much with just straight candies. We took, we did it for a couple years, and then we started slipping in multicolors, and that got accepted. But you could still see people walking by, certain people that would walk by, and they wouldn't even look at it, or they run in and see the lowriders that turn around and this is wrong hall. And we were always put in the back for some reason. I know now, but that's okay. We had the most people coming into that show anyways. But as time went on, we started sneaking in the velvet interiors, the multicolors, the murals, and all that stuff. And we change it up every now and then. But the great thing about it is we built a bridge being at that show because we got along with everybody. If you had a hot rod in hall number 2, you came over and talked to us, and they got to know us well. And that's what it's all about. It took us a long time, where you guys can fit in with just about anybody, but at the end of the day, you guys are lowriders.
Right.
You got slam classics.
Yeah.
A lot of people identify that as lowriders, and I think it's a good image you guys portray, and it helps break barriers if there's still a few of them out there. That's why I compliment and I like the way you guys, how you handle yourselves. You're represented, and you're sincere. The hospitality is all there. What are you guys doing up in the future? What are the plans for the club now? 15 years is a long time. What are you guys doing next?
We're just pushing for another 15 or more, man. We got a few members that are getting up there in age. It's getting a little harder for them to come around. But you know what? We just keep on doing what we're doing, man. We're not anybody that's, if you can't attend a show, we don't have dues or anything like that. We're not going to fine you. We're not going to have a talk with you or anything. We're that club. If you can make it, you make it. And gradually we get 1 or 2 members in, maybe every couple of years. And we're just going to keep it like that. We're not going to sit there. We're not going to recruit. We're not going to get on Facebook or anything and try and recruit. We need members and stuff, because that's not who we are. We're more friends, than we are just a club. We're considered a club, but we are friends, man. And, I have love for these guys, man. They're you know, they've been through us, through everybody. You know, we've all had problems, you know, deaths and stuff like that in the family. And these guys are my brothers, man. They've been there since day one. So we're not going to change anything. We're just going to do what we're doing now, man, and keep it alive and keep us going.
Before we get to shout outs or whoever influenced you guys, the club itself, with all the different styles of vehicles that you have, do you guys help each other out? You work on each other's cars, somebody welds, somebody does body work. Yeah. Is there a lot of that inside the club?
Well, not a whole lot. There's not a whole lot. Mike does a lot of fabrication, welding and stuff. So we mainly work, all of us have a little bit of knowledge, man, enough knowledge to work on our own cars. I can put my car together, take it apart. I'm not a painter, but we have our painters and stuff that take care of business for us, you know. But as far as, you know, helping you out, if we can help you out, if you need help taking off the bed of his truck or something like that, he can call me and, you know, I can be there. And most of us, there's a lot of us that are retired, man, so we have time, you know.
Retirement, and you do metal, and those are two things that bother me sometimes. Do you metal work to fix rust, to fix dents, or to shave door handles, to shave keyholes?
I'm more of a fabricator.
A fabricator? So then we're talking the same language here. Yeah. It's hard to get anybody to come out and just say, well, you know what? I just need this little keyhole shaved, and I don't want door handles, or I don't want mirrors. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to get anybody to spend half a day to do that, and then let alone do it right, because the next thing you know, in about 6 months, there's the whole outline of your door and it's coming up, right? Because guys bondo and they leave holes.
Yeah.
You specialize in things like that, in door handles and keyholes?
Not really. Number one, I don't like body work. I'm not a body man.
Yeah.
I like, you know, doing framework, or, you know, just building whatever, different things.
No Frenching, no customizing,
no, really none of that. You know, I'm not really into a lot of customizing. Mm-hmm. I like simplicity. Yeah, things, to me, why take the beauty out of something that's already there? And to me, if a car has beautiful curves to it, why mess with it? And that's what
don't fix something that's not broken, right?
Exactly.
And there are a lot of beautiful styles of vehicles out there. Anybody else influential in your life that got you into all of this besides your dad?
I have a couple of real good friends that, like I said, I did some drag racing with, and they were a big influence on me. We stuck together as a team for many years. We learned a lot from each other, and we helped each other out quite a bit. And they were a big influence on me. Learned a lot from them, and we helped each other, and we succeeded.
And you, Nunie, besides Together Car Club?
Well, I would say my brother. My brother's talented, man. He's one of the smartest guys that I know. Is when it comes down to fixing cars, this guy can do anything, man. He can tear apart a motor end, he can put a rear end in. So he'd be my go-to guy. You know, I'd call him up and hit him up. You know, what do I do here or whatever. He lives in Sacramento now, but he'll come by and he'll stop. He's, hey, bro, I'll be there. You know, we'll take care of it, man. But he takes care of a lot of my stuff, man. And, I wasn't, growing up, I just loved the cars. I'll pay to get somebody to paint it and stuff, but he would do a lot of things on his own, man. And, but he was somebody that influenced me, man. And I can depend on him if I need a repair, I can call him and he can guide me through it, man. What do I do? And he'll tell me how to do it.
Before we come to a close, are there future builds you still see yourself dreaming on building?
Well, I had a 51 Chevy Styleline chop, beautiful car. I ended up selling it, but I want to get back into another chop. So I'm probably going to look at somewhere like a 39 or a 40 Merc that hopefully I can pick one up at a decent price. And I met a guy at the Grand Nationals this year. The guy's from New Mexico. And this guy did some beautiful paint. I mean, he was there. He had a couple cars that he was sponsoring there. And I asked the guy, I says, how long is it going to take me to get my car painted? He says, I'm about a year out, man. I says, well, if I put my name down there now, can you get me on the list? He says, well, what kind of car are you gonna get? I said, I don't have a car yet, but I want to get on your list. You know,
What was
so
his name?
I think his name was Jose or something like that, but he's from New Mexico. I have his card with me, but the guy did some beautiful work and he was very reasonable, you know, and his turnaround is really quick. I had my wagon done and it took me 7 years, man, and it's because you know these painters over here for whatever reason they go in circles, you know, they use the money and wait for money to come around and little money, and sometimes I'd go to that shop and I would see the same rag that was on top of that hood a year later and like, guess he hasn't worked on the car. But this guy has a good turnaround. So I think maybe a 39 or a 40 Merc would be my next car.
Mike, you have any plans on something down the road?
Well, you know, I'll be 70 in a couple of months, and um, I'm not sure if I want to start a new build. It's not easy,
No.
you know, starting from the ground up. I'm not one to do a patch job. You know, if I want to do something, I do it right. And you know, for me, I like to start from the ground up, and that's a lot of work. And I'm pretty much a do-it-yourself kind of person. Um, and to me, that's a lot. It's challenging. So I'm not quite sure if I want to. And if I do, uh, I'm a truck guy, so I would have to start. You know, probably do another truck if I have it in me.
At the end of the day, lowrider car clubs, we're all tribes.
Right.
We're all over the place with different chapters. What would be your advice keeping your car club all together like it is a community of numerous families getting together to spread the love of the culture? What's your advice to everybody out there, how you keep this whole thing going so
Hey,
that they know? Because it's, you know, the car clubs that you check out at the park, you don't know how
right.
long they're going to last or what is going to help them last. What is it? You guys have the secret ingredients?
Well, there's no
Tell them.
secret ingredients, man, but it's just be real to yourself. Don't let nobody else build a car. You know, you have to use your own vision. You can have somebody build your car, but use your vision, man. Don't be scared to get out there and take chances. You know, if you want to do this, then you do it, man. It's a lot of the stuff is trial and error. You know, just keep it going, man. Because the culture, you know, we don't want this to die out. You know, it's been around. I love the style of the 70s and 80s, but it doesn't mean that you have to like that style. You know, if you got something that you want to do and set your mind to it, man, the vision. And I'll tell you right now, man, if you're a young kid getting into this, put your money in your car, man. It keeps you away from problems, trouble, keeps you out of bars, keeps your marriage together. Put your money in your car, man. It's an investment, man, and you're going to enjoy it later on in the years, you know. And sorry to say, but it becomes an addiction. You know, you get addicted to this stuff, man, and you can spend some money on it, you know. So just make sure. Like I said, when I turned 18 or I was 16 years old, I couldn't wait till I get a job and build me a car, and that's what ever since then, man, I haven't stopped. You know, people telling me, man, how come you sold this car, that wagon, or why did you sell your 51? I told them, well, it's done. I enjoyed it. Now it's time for somebody else to enjoy it, and I'm going to move on. As much as it's a headache, you got to deal with you know, issues with painters and stuff like that. I always keep on saying, this is my last car. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm done. But I go again. And but just keep your vision, man. Just keep it real, man, and don't let nobody else put things in your head. Don't do this, don't do that. If you want to do it, you do it, man.
Keep your fingers crossed at the next
Keep your
shop,
fingers
right?
crossed, buddy. That's all you got to do.
And you, Mike, what
Well,
would you say?
as a club member, I think respect has a lot to do with it, as far as having the respect for other club members
Mm-hmm.
and keeping the club
Right.
closely knit together. And if you see somebody wandering, you know, not let them fall away. Bring them back. You know, and it takes a little bit of respect and love and recognition.
And that does go a long ways sometimes.
It does. It does. You know,
And people do appreciate that.
they do.
Absolutely.
There's some people that are a little more needy than others, and you have to find that. You know, and that's the reason why we get together and we have picnics and we have barbecues and we have get-togethers and celebrate a birthday or whatever the case may be. It's to bring us all together and have a little respect for one another and let them know that you know what we're not gonna let you go. And if it does happen, it's your choice. And just try to recognize everyone and be there, but not only for them but for their families too. Recognize their children's graduation, wedding, or someone's hurting. Be there. We had a club member that he suffered for a long time from COVID. He was in a coma for quite a long time, for well over a year.
Wow.
So we support him, and he got out of it. Thank God, he was able to survive it, and he's still with us. And just let him know that that we care and we're there for him. I think that's really important for a club to survive.
Well, there you go, everybody. Family values. The Tribe Car Club. You heard their 15-year story. Very good one, man. Keep on doing what you do for the love of all car clubs, setting the right example out there. And we'll hope to see you guys soon again at a local show or going up north up the coast, man.
All right.
Or hopefully one of these days at a camping trip.
Yeah.
And he tells me all about that, how the good times go and all that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. There you go, everybody. Another episode of the Wire Down Show. We'll catch you next week.